All right. Here we are again.
We're back.
Wildwood Students Live Plus.
Groups.
Man, we had so much fun with you all last week, and we are pumped to get to spend some time with you again this week. And now you know the drill.
They know it.
Hey, we're going to have some fun together. We're going to have a conversation together. Then we're going to jump into our discussion groups.
Yes.
But if you were not with us last week and you are currently just watching on YouTube, know that we have Zoom groups happening right now. And so hop off of YouTube, go to our social media, get connected with your specific Zoom group. They are watching this together. And so it's an opportunity to find some community.
Yes.
As we talk about community. But we would encourage you to go hop onto that Zoom call with them, and you'll get to see all of this, but with other people.
Right. They can chat about it in the comments.
Right.
It'll be awesome.
Right. So we have a game
We
for
do.
today, and I'm excited about this game. I think it's going to be a ton of fun, but I need you to pay attention because it's going to require some movement on your end.
Yes.
Movement's a weird word.
Movement.
They're not like
Some typing fingers.
right. So here's how the game's going to work. We are going to put a question with answers, available answers, up on the screen. But before we get to that question, your group is going to pick one person to be it for the round, okay? So this game's called Group Think. You're going to choose somebody to be it. They're going to look at the question and pick the answer they think is going to get the most votes from their group. So it's not the answer they think is true, but the answer they think everybody else is going to think is true.
Yes.
Or the majority of people are going to
Majority, popular answer.
think. Right, the most popular answer.
Think as your group is thinking.
All right, so here's what we need you to do right now. Just quickly pick one person to be the chosen one for this round, okay?
Don't take it lightly.
Right, this is a big responsibility. Choose one person, okay? You've got 3, 2, 1. All right, you've got your person. And now we're going to show you the question, all right? So let's see the question, our first question.
All right.
What genre of music should not exist?
What should you not listen to?
It should not even be in existence anymore, okay? So option 1, polka. Option 2, reggae. Option 3, folk music. Option 4 is opera. 5, smooth jazz. And 6, bluegrass. Okay, so chosen one. I'm talking to you right now. You're going to pick the answer you think is going to be the most popular answer from your group, okay?
The group, don't say anything. Don't do it. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, integrity moment. You're not
Yes.
talking about it. Just pick one of these. You could even private chat that to one of the leaders in your group, okay? That might be the best way. Hey, I think it's going to be you think polka should not exist anymore. Number 1. I think number 1 is the one that's going to get the most votes, okay? Now, group leaders, go ahead and bring up that poll, and they're going to answer, you all are going to answer the first question in the poll, okay? So the question is the same as this. What genre of music should not exist? Sierra, what do you think? You're answering. How would you answer this question from these 6 options? What genre of music?
I would say some reggae music.
Reggae?
Yeah.
No, you're not a Bob Marley
No.
individual?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
What would you say?
Man, polka is that
No.
polka or opera?
Okay. You can say opera. But
So I think I have a hard time with opera because so often it's like in a different language.
Yes.
And I don't understand
And it's just
that language.
high and loud, and you're like, what do you actually say?
It's like visiting the Morin household.
Yes! Absolutely. I do talk in opera.
Not all caps. You're
Not all
talking
caps.
in opera.
I have polka dance before.
Oh.
There used to be, yeah.
Why?
In my middle school days, it was cool.
No.
Yes, there are some leaders out there that have also done this before.
Wow.
Ask your leader if they've ever polka danced. It was a thing, and there's a place, and we would go and polka dance. So I'm a big fan of this polka music.
Okay, well I'm not. So let's not turn on polka music in the office. Okay, we've got our results in the poll. Now compare the answer of the chosen one to the most popular answer of the group, and if they were right, they get a point.
All right, let's see the next one.
Yeah, go ahead and you
A
can.
new chosen one.
What is the best fast food place? Unequivocally the best, okay? Which is the best? Number 1, Carl's Jr. Number 2, Del Taco. Number 3, Quiznos. Number 4, Panda Express. Number 5, Little Caesars. Who wrote this? Number 6, McDonald's.
I can't take you serious. Like, seriously.
This is a troll. A troll built
This is bad. None of
Best-
those are good.
The best.
The best?
Those words are in the question. The
Best of those.
Okay. So your new chosen one, and I am sorry about what you are having to do, but you're having to choose the best fast food place out of these 6 options.
Oh
Okay?
my gosh.
So-
This is like the best of the worst, is what it should be called.
So which is, go ahead and pick your number, private message it to your leader, and then let's open up the polls
Yep.
and get voting going.
Abe.
Which is the best fast food place?
I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Out of these, man, it's so hard to choose the top, and it's hard
Yes.
to choose like which one is the worst.
Right.
I don't know how to. I think I would have to go Panda Express though.
Really?
I love Chinese food.
I think they have a monopoly on like Asian drive-thrus.
They absolutely do. Absolutely do.
Okay.
What would you choose as the best fast food place?
I absolutely hate all of these options. So I'm going with Quiznos because it can just be a sandwich.
Right. You could probably even ask it, like, can you do that without bread? And
Yes.
Just make it a
Can
salad.
I just get some? Well, I don't want a salad, but I'll just have some like meat and cheese.
Is that all you put? Do you put any mayonnaise or mustard?
No.
It's dry bread,
Yeah.
meat, and cheese.
Let's say I'm at
What
Subway.
kind of-
I'm getting a sandwich. I don't know.
With meat
with
and
some
cheese.
whole wheat bread and meat and cheese. Ham. No, I get turkey, and then I get some American cheese, and that's it. And I
Wow.
call it good. It's like the best sandwich ever. I love
Gosh.
it.
Okay, well, I live the Subway life much more exciting than you do.
Yeah.
Because when I order at Subway, I will, I'm picking a variety of toppings.
Of course.
But right at the very end, I ask the sandwich artist.
Yes.
Is that what they're called? I ask the sandwich artist. I have a very special request.
Sandwich artist.
This embarrasses Corey all the time. I have very specific requests, and I know it's a little strange, but I need you to take one jalapeno and hide it on
No,
my
you do
sandwich.
not. No, you do not.
100%. And then I turn around and let them hide the jalapeno on my sandwich, because then it's like one bite is gonna be a party.
No, you don't.
Yeah, one bite. It's just like a normal sandwich, and then all of a sudden,
Oh my
boom,
gosh.
things change really quickly, escalate very fast. There's a jalapeno in here. What's happening?
Don't you just want to have a party the whole time you eat the sandwich?
No, I don't need that much jalapeno. I just want one. Okay, back
All
to
right.
Subway's not even on here. But chosen one, compare your answer to the poll. And did you guess what the group said is the best fast food place?
All right, next question. No,
Yeah,
next
yeah.
question. Next question. All right, what is the most difficult subject in school?
Okay.
Chosen person, you know what to do. You've chosen your person. Great. All right, we're moving on. Most difficult subject in school: English, PE. Oh, I'm going not in order. Okay,
That's okay.
English, math, PE, social awareness,
Right. I struggle with that sometimes.
choir, or anthropology. We're gonna get the question.
what? Yeah,
And-
Sierra,
yeah.
what is anthropology? Do you
It's
know?
the store. Anthropology. I've been there before.
No,
I've been to the
school
store.
subject. Do you know what anthropology is?
I'm just not gonna answer because I do not like to look dumb.
Okay, it's the study of humans.
Okay.
and specifically like how they function. So culture,
It's close to
their behavior. That's anthropology.
It also just reminds me of archaeology.
Oh, yep. That's different though.
Study of
So chosen one, you have sent your answer to the leader. You've picked one of these, which you think is the most difficult, and we all know that social awareness is the
It
most
wins. It
difficult
wins.
subject in school.
All right. So end the poll
Yep.
and send
compare notes.
Yes, compare notes and then send us the results because we
Right.
want to laugh at them with you guys.
I want social awareness to win in one of your
man.
groups. That'd be so great. Okay, this one we're gonna roll. Go ahead and pick your chosen one. Somebody who hasn't done it yet, if possible. What candy best describes the group? Okay, this is the group you are in, and now think about the fact that you're not choosing for yourself, but what is everybody else gonna pick? Okay, number 1, Snickers.
Snickers.
Number 2, spicy chocolate. Number 3, Swedish fish. You know, like that kind of candy that it's like it gets left after.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Swedish fish
Yeah,
is your
I really
favorite?
well, top favorite.
Okay, you big licorice fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Twizzlers.
4, Tootsie Rolls. 5, Payday. 6, Sour Patch Kids.
Because they're sweet and then they're sour.
No, I think that's backwards.
Is it really?
First they're
they're
sour.
sour, then they're sweet. Because, all right, so
Right. You
that was
think
close.
which one, if you had to pick for our high school girls,
Like overall,
like the group, the high school
group,
girls
high school
group,
girls.
which candy best describes that group? Choose wisely.
yeah,
'Cause
they're
there's friendships
watching
on the
and
line.
they're listening.
Right.
All right, high school girls, this is what I believe you are.
In your
Personal
heart?
opinion, deep in my heart, I believe
Swedish
you
fish.
are. Sweetest fish.
Is that what you're saying?
Because
your-
they're neutral. No, I would actually go with Sour Patch Kids.
Nice. Yeah, I don't think any of our groups should be Payday.
No.
But, okay, polls have opened. They've closed. Chosen one. Hopefully you got it right.
Hopefully. All right, last question.
Yeah, last one.
Let's see
This
it.
has been great. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Best part of summer.
Okay, I'll do the parentheses parts. Okay?
Okay. So.
You guys chosen one.
Yep, chosen one. All right, swimming. UV of 11
Oh, I'm already burning.
because the range is 1 to 11. It's not 1 to 10.
'Cause that makes
Personal
sense.
annoyance.
Right.
Anyways, moving on. Mowing.
Yep.
Sports.
Oof.
Romance.
That there should be an oof.
I was going to say there should be a parentheses. I was waiting. Or WSM camp.
Oof. That's a heart oof.
That hurt.
Who put this together? Oh, that was me. Oh man.
It was you.
Wow. Yeah. WSM camp. You know that was going to be a great time.
It was going to be the best one ever. We could just
And-
also say
and
that
now
because
it won't
didn't
ever
happen.
be.
It's postponed.
Next year, 2021. Be ready. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome.
Okay. Swimming, UV11, mowing, sports, oof. Romance.
Can we
WSM
talk
camp,
about
oof.
romance? Best part of summer.
Romance.
I just think that's funny.
And say WSM camp, oof.
Aw.
That's the biggest oof of the summer. You know,
Yeah.
NBA can have its oof moment, MLB can have its oof moment, but the biggest oof of the summer, WSM camp.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, end your poll.
Yep.
Compare notes. Tell us what they said.
And now let us know how many matched up.
Yes.
Like do a tally and let us know how many times the chosen one's answer was the same as the group's answer. Because some of these were hard.
They were. As the chosen one, thanks for playing along with some
Right.
of these wacky answers. And
Right. I'm sorry
we
that
really
you had
do
to choose
appreciate-
from those restaurants. You had to choose a group, candy.
Next time I'm going to make the game.
I hope
okay?
that we didn't ruin any friendships. You know?
We may have.
But that's an interesting segue into our conversation today.
Segue.
Because as a part of Wildwood Students Live plus groups, In the month of June, we're talking about community. And so last week we introduced our theme, living out community, because living, there's a personal aspect of us in community. Out is an outward focus. Within community, it's not just us. And then we're focusing in on community. And so last week we talked about how so often community is dictated by the place, but we should be people who build our community by purpose, from purpose, what the purpose of community is. And so today we're asking the question, am I showing up? And so let's kind of, when we ask that question, this is not on our list, so I'm throwing a curveball, but
All right.
when we ask that question, am I showing up? What are we really asking?
Yeah, we're asking, are they showing up in friendships? We want you to maybe think for a second, think of your friends, okay? So get them in your head, think of it, and then kind of evaluate those friendships.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe during this time you haven't had a chance to necessarily be around your friends. So think about the last time you hung out with them. Think about conversations that you have within those friend groups. Think about, what those friendships revolve around. Kind of just evaluate like, oh man, I miss those friends. Oh, I like those friends. Oh, I should probably, get different friends. I don't know, that may be a tough question to ask, but we really want you just to evaluate these friendships.
Yeah, and so this is in living out community, this is the living aspect, where it's recognizing that in community, we play a role in community. So are we the friend we should be? Yeah. And kind of thinking about, hey, like, how are the friendships that we're having impacting who we are? As we think about friendships, what are some examples of godly friendships that we see in the Bible?
Yeah, definitely. The first one that came to mind for us was David and Jonathan.
Yeah.
And, they even read about that in small groups.
Yeah, absolutely, for our middle schoolers.
Yeah, exactly. And so we were kind of just thinking about the friendship that they had. David was going through a lot. He really was. He was trying to run away from Saul. And there were so many times that we saw Jonathan step in and really just be the kind of friend that so many of us need. He was there to protect him and to love him and encourage him. And then even a verse that came to mind was 1 Thessalonians 5:11, and it says this: "Therefore encourage one another and build each other up as you are already doing." And so that kind of goes off of evaluating your friendships. We would love to know if you guys are encouraging your friends.
Yeah.
Are you the kind of friend that you need? Are you the kind of friend that you wish that you had? Are you encouraging one another? Are you loving one another? Especially during this time of, a lot of things are virtual. How are you loving and how are you being a friend?
Yeah, and I love those examples of friendship. First, you have David and Jonathan, who came from very different life backgrounds. Jonathan being the son of the king, and David being a shepherd, and they become fast friends to the point where they view each other as brothers, and where even though there is strife between David and Saul, Jonathan's dad, how you see Jonathan stepping in and caring for David in a sacrificial way at his own risk. And then you look at the verse from Thessalonians, and that reminds us of the way that Paul was a friend, and how he just in seeking out people and writing these letters and planting churches, that he was active in building relationships with people. And we see in so many of the end of his letters where he would just say hi to people, say hello to this person and this person, tell them that I'm thinking of them, tell them that I'm praying for them. And Paul was a great example of what it looks like to be a friend, in that he was always keeping in mind the spiritual health of the people around him. And that's an encouragement and a challenge, even as I think about how do I care for the friends around me, the friends that I have. Am I living out like a Jonathan? Am I living that out like a Paul? And that's a hard question to answer. So we as we jump into discussion time, we'll have some time for you guys to process what can we learn from some of these biblical examples. But our next question is, how do friends affect our lives? You talked a little bit about this, but are there, what are some examples of ways that friends can affect how we live, how we act, how we think, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think of the positive and the negative ways that friendships play into our lives. You can think through the friends that are great that you have in your life, that are encouraging you, that are building you up, that are pushing you towards the Lord's, that are constantly checking and say, hey, how are you doing? Hey, how did this go? But then also I can think of the negative side of that, where you have those friends that maybe aren't the greatest influence on you, whether it be through peer pressure or whether it just be, kind of a negative friend where you don't realize, but that person is rubbing off on you. You guys have probably heard this before, but of course I blanked on what I wanted to say, but it was show me your friends and I'll show you who you are or will be. And it's that same way of who are the people that you're surrounding yourself with, because that's genuinely like who you are going to become.
Yeah. And that's really hard, because sometimes I think of times in my life where sometimes I had a couple of my best friends growing up, and they, like, as they reached high school and college, middle school, like just different phases of life, like where their priorities changed and where our friendship changed. And I know that there were times where they impacted me negatively, as like, because I wasn't Paul to like for them. I wasn't encouraging them, reaching out to them. But at the same time, like, they weren't doing that back. It was just like a more negative friendship that was leading into just, hey, we're not making the best decisions. We're not stepping into the best areas. And so, like, it's incredible how even sometimes friendships can change, just in different seasons. And that's hard. That's really hard when you start to think about good friendships that you've had, and maybe at some point they were really positive, really encouraging friendships, that something changes and life changes, and then it's not the same positive dynamic as it was before. And that can be from me to a friend, that can be from the friend to me. But just in thinking through, like, man, those friendships do have a real impact on how we approach life and how we think through life. And even going back to our biblical examples, David was impacted by Jonathan. Yeah. Not just in that Jonathan saved his life from Saul and helped him escape, but that we see even after David became king, the way he approached Saul's family was changed because of his friendship with Jonathan, where traditionally they would have killed that entire family, so that line, that threat to the crown, would be gone. But that's interesting how that friendship didn't just impact when David and Jonathan were friends, but even after Jonathan's death, that friendship was impacting who David was. Like, this is the impact that friendships have on us. It's not just in the moment, but that impact continues on. It has ripple effects within our lives. Definitely. Last question. What kind of friends are we? This is kind of like a multi-level question. What kind of friends are we? What kind of friends should we be? And just an opportunity for us to evaluate ourselves and our friendships.
And this is something that we would even love for you guys to continue the discussion within your breakouts.
Yeah.
So we're going to hit on it just for a second, but we really would love for you to answer this and talk about it and kind of just share and be vulnerable within your group.
Yeah. What kind of friend are you? What kind of friends do you have around you? And what should those be? Yeah. The reality of the space we live in is so often not the reality of where we know we should be. So as you thought about, like, what kind of friends are we? What kind of friends should we be? Thought about evaluating friendships. What were some things that you thought about?
Yeah. If you've ever read through Proverbs, then you've probably noticed that there's a million mentions about friendships, but one that stuck out was Proverbs 13:20, and it says, "The one who walks with the wise will become wise, but a companion of fools will suffer harm." So the first part, the one who walks with the wise will become wise. Just what we've been talking about is your friends and those that you surround yourself with, that community that really is going to play in who you become as a person. And so if you're surrounding yourself with those that are wise and those that are following the Lord, then you're really going to see that impact be placed on your life.
Yeah.
And the second part, but a companion of fools will suffer. And that doesn't sound fun to suffer. And it's just blatantly honest. A companion of fools will suffer harm. And so those that you surround yourself with, the companions that you have that are making the wrong choices, that aren't choosing what's right and glorifying the Lord, those will bring you harm. Whether it's down the road or whether it's the next day, you're going to see that.
Right. Yeah, and we know that as we talk about this, we have a number of students that have felt that in a really personal way, where, man, I got into a situation I didn't want to be in because of the people that I was around. And so I think of Psalm chapter 1, and this is a chapter that so many of us are familiar with, but blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He's like a tree planted by the streams of water that yields its fruit in its season. And there's a couple things that I want to point out as we kind of wrap this conversation up. Right at the beginning, you see, blessed is the man who, and it gives some really specific physical pictures about how the righteous man does not interact with wickedness. He doesn't walk. He doesn't stand. He doesn't sit. This is like, it's just a picture of how you don't even put yourself physically in a position where you're going to have to deal with that. Like recognizing that so often is where we lose the battle with having bad friendships, is we put ourselves in a position to have friendships that will negatively impact us. And we're not saying like discard those people, throw them away, don't ever interact with them, but recognize that the ways that you interact with them impact you.
Yes.
And so that's what this is saying, like walk, stand, sit, recognize that the way that you put yourself in community is going to impact who you are. So be mindful of that. Yeah. And then it says, for those of the blessed man who doesn't do these things, he delights in the law of the Lord. He meditates it on a day and night. And he's like a tree that's next to a stream. And that's cool because like if you like walk down a path and next to a stream, so often you'll see a tree that's right next to a stream and it'll be like, how is that tree still there? Like roots are all over the place and it looks like it should just be falling over. But because it's next to the water, its roots go very deep, and it's deeply rooted in that spot. That it's not just a surface level thing, but a very deeply rooted plant, and so it can withstand the waves kind of chopping away at the dirt at the top of its roots because it goes so far down into the earth, and that's what it looks like when we have put ourselves in a place that is healthy, in a community that's healthy. We're not just going to get washed away by the hardships of life at the surface, the difficult things that we face, because we are deeply rooted in community and friendships and God's word, and in a space where we can say, you know what, I have people around me. I have God supporting me. I have people that'll pray for me, and I can do that for other people. And I just love that picture that comes from Psalm 1 as we think about showing up in friendships.
Yep.
So that's the challenge. I think there's a lot of great stuff to chat about as we move into our discussion groups. But how are you showing up? Are you the type of friend that's worth having?
And how are you letting others show up?
Yeah, right. Are you inviting others to be a part of your life in community, living out community in really practical ways? So we're going to go ahead and jump into our breakout rooms. And man, Sierra, we had a ton of fun at Neighborhood Pop-Up, and we have another one coming up in like a week and a half or something. And so check out the calendar, stay connected to social media. Just a great time to get together and have some fun with a bunch of people.
Yeah, we'd love to see y'all there. We're headed to Lions Park next.
Right.
It's going to be awesome.
So it's going to be a great time. Enjoy your discussion groups. Thanks for joining us, and have a great conversation. We're looking forward to seeing you again next week.
Yep.
See you guys.